For this tutorial, you are going to need 3 different colors, and this right here is a turtle I made with a light blue shell and a green body. So we're going to do the opposite here with a green shell and a blue body. So I have my yarn from Hobie Friends Cotton 88, and this is a number 3 light worsted cotton yarn. I really like working with this yarn for amigurumi because it's not very stretchy, which means that your stitches won't stretch out over time. Also, there's like no pilling to it whatsoever. And then you're also going to need your 2.75 millimeter hook, which is what I use for all of the patterns in my amigurumi book. You'll need a pair of scissors, some glue, and a scrap piece of felt, and some kind of pencil to trace a circle with. Let's start off by making a magic circle. And if you want to follow my slower tutorial, check out the video that I've linked here. But once we are here, we're going to chain 2 more times. And this is going to count as our first double crochet. Now sometimes you might see a double crochet is made of 2, but for the height we need 3 here. Now we're going to double crochet into the ring. And then we're going to chain 1, and then go ahead and make 5 more clusters of 2 double crochet stitches with a chain in between. So again, double crocheting into the center, and again. And that's my second cluster. So chain again, then repeat. It does help if you pull the center closed a little bit so that you have more control over your yarn. That's our third cluster. Okay, another double crochet, and that is our fourth. So don't forget your chain 1 in between, and then our, fifth one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, chain, then our last cluster of 2 double crochet stitches. Okay. You're going to chain there, and then you're going to pull your circle closed, and then we're going to join it to the top of the chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So we're going to slip stitch into that, and then pull up a loop. So for round 2, we're going to start in our second color. So just pay attention to where you fastened off and start in one of the chain spaces on the other side of the circle. I'm going to insert my hook, then create a slip knot in the new color, so the light green here. I'm going to pick up the yarn and pull that through. And now we're going to chain 3 once again, and that's going to be our first double crochet stitch, and then double crochet into the same space. Ooh, my yarn is nice and squeaky. Go ahead and chain 1, and then we're going to do another cluster of 2 double crochet in the same chain space. Okay. So we're going to repeat that all the way around in each of the chain spaces. So chain 1, let's go and do the next one together. Now it's not necessary to crochet over your tails because the opposite side will not be visible once we stuff the piece, like you can see here. So that'll save us a little bit of brain power. Chain 1, another 2 double crochet stitches in the same chain space. Okay, chain 1, do that again. Chain 1. And then you can see I came up to where I fastened off. You're just going to crochet into that just like normal. If you need to hold down that little short yarn tail, you can do that as well. Chain 1 and make our second cluster of double crochet stitches. Chain 1, next coming up on our last cluster here. Chain 1, 2 more. Okay, we're going to slip stitch into the third chain of our very first stitch here to close up the round. And again, we're going to fasten off. Okay. You can start to see it begin to take shape. So for round 3, I'm back with my dark green color yarn again. So make a slip knot and let's get ready to join our color back to the piece. Here's where I fastened off. I'm going to work into a chain space on the other side of the circle right here. So this right here is a cluster of 2 double crochet stitches, a chain in between, and another 2 double crochet stitches. I'm going to add my slip knot of the new color yarn and pull that through right there. And then we're going to chain 3 again. That's going to count as our first double crochet stitch. Now we're going to make 6 double crochet stitches in the same chain space for a total of 7. That's going to create this really pretty shell-like shape. So go ahead and do that. Okay, this is our third. And the fourth. The fifth. Sixth, and one more, 7. It's going to feel a little bunched up, and that's what we want. That's how we're going to create this pretty fan shape. And then to work into the next chain space in between the groups of 4, we're going to chain 1 and then work into that gap right there. So skip the ones in between, but work into the ones in the middle. Okay. Make your first double crochet stitch. Here is our second. Our third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Oops, my yarn kind of snagged there. Do that one more time. One more. Chain 1, and go ahead and repeat this all the way around. Pause the video and meet me back when you are finished. So we are back at the beginning, and so we're going to slip stitch into the top of the third chain here and then fasten off. For the next round, we're going to pick up our light green yarn again. I've already made my slip knot, and we're going to work into one of the gaps right here of round 2. So what we're going to do is take your hook and pull up this yarn. We're going to secure a knot before we begin. Okay, I'm going to double knot it so it doesn't come undone. Okay, and then this little yarn tail we can just pull to the back side. Okay, and now that we have our knots secured, I'm going to insert my hook underneath this loop and pull up a loop. And we're going to do our chain 3. This is again going to count as our first double crochet stitch. That's what's going to create these nice little divisions of the turtle's shell. Okay, so go ahead and work a single crochet into each of the 7 stitches. And here I'm going to use yarning over just to be cohesive with the rest of the shell. I mentioned that detail because for the rest of the amigurumi body, we use yarn under. Okay. Now once you're back at the same spot, yarn over and make your double crochet into this little gap right here. So pull up that loop, and here we go, just like so. And work 7 single crochet stitches again into each of the shells. into that same chain space and then make your double crochet stitch. And again, 7 single crochet. Repeat this all the way around and pause the video and meet me back when you are finished. Welcome back. So to finish up this round, we're going to slip stitch into the first double crochet, but instead of doing so in the current color, we're going to do so in blue, because that is going to be the color of the bottom of the shell and the body. So here I'm going to take this and I'm going to finish up this slip stitch in the new color. Then for the next round, we're just going to single crochet all the way around. This chain one right here will count as our first single crochet, so work the rest of the round in the back loops only. Okay, just like this. Pause the video and meet me back when you are done. Okay, we're back at our beginning here, and so we're going to slip stitch into the first stitch, which is going to be this right here. So fasten off here and be sure to leave a long tail as the pattern indicates. I accidentally cut a short one here, so just ignore that. So at this point, you should start to see that it's making this cup shape, and that is because the last round we didn't make any increases. So this circle is now starting to become rounded out. We're going to want that height for the shell. And then on the opposite side where you see all of the yarn tails, you can secure them into knots and trim them a little bit shorter. But again, we're not going to see this side, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. Okay. So you will be able to see the stuffing through these little gaps here. And so to prevent that, we're just going to take a piece of felt. The really pliable kind is the one you'll probably find most easily at your craft store. And we're just going to cut out a circle to match this circumference. So how I'm going to do that is lay this right on top, and then we're going to trace it lightly with a pencil. Yeah. Okay, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, and then I'm going to cut it out. It could be a rough cutting too, because again, you're not going to see the inside. Look at that beautiful job. And then we're going to take some glue. Here I'm using UHU glue. This is my favorite for any kind of crochet. Then I'm going to apply thin little streaks of it, avoiding the little gaps because then the glue will seep through. And basically, you just want to make sure that you have enough where it'll hold down the felt in place. Okay, press that down here. And there we have it. That is the top part of our turtle shell. If you found this tutorial helpful, please be sure to like and subscribe to my channel. See you next time.